Here's a name I can say from the Eradicator.
Hello and welcome to this channel, everybody. This is the Eradicator, and in this video we will talk about prison gameplay. Prison gameplay is something the devs have been talking about for quite some time, but it was only recently that this upcoming gameplay mechanics dedicated card was added to the Star Citizen roadmap, and it is scheduled for the 2020 Q1 patch, Star Citizen Alpha 3.9. So, what does it entail for criminal players as well as law-abiding citizens of the stars? Well, let's talk about it right now in this video. Right now, as of Star Citizen Alpha 3.7 or 3.8 Evocati, if you're one of the lucky fews, the only penalties players who break the law are tickets for parking violations, fines for vehicular collisions, and crime stats for pretty much everything else, such as transporting wanted players, accidental friendly fire if you do enough damage, being scanned with illicit goods on board, and of course shutting down a coma ray and killing other players, NPCs or real ones alike, among others. And when you think of it, there aren't really any penalties for committing crimes other than eventually being harassed by local security forces, bounty hunter players, and being denied access to certain landing zones and stations, which is not really a problem again, because wanted players can just sneak behind lawful players into hangars and then get killed by security at Lawville, which would result in their crime stat to be wiped out. This is an exploit Cloud Imperium said would be fixed in Star Citizen Alpha 3.8 though. Criminals can also enjoy their time in safe havens, currently known as Armistice Zones, which are, for those who are unaware, zones within the game where weapons are artificially disabled. It is therefore impossible to take down any player located in such areas. This will change in Star Citizen Alpha 3.8 and the introduction of melee fights, but those are going to be illegal in areas, in those no-fly zone areas or just Armistice zone areas, except for Grim X, the lawless asteroid base located in the rings of Yela. You may have understood by now that there isn't much Star Citizen can do to discourage players from being criminals and being a burden to the Star Citizen virtual society, and that is a problem for a lot of players who are just there to do some space trucking or exploration and are not interested in PvP at all. It can be very frustrating to have your progression regularly hindered by other players who enjoy killing other players just for the sake of doing so, knowing that even if a local White Knight decides to deal with those Star Citizen bullies, they will nicely respawn at their spawn location and be free to do their dirty deeds all over again. This will finally be over in Star Citizen Alpha 3.9 and the introduction of the prison mechanics, and dare I say it is about time. Now, before everything else, I've got to say that I was thoroughly impressed with what I saw during CitizenCon. The devs really created an entire new gameplay area in the form of this automated penitentiary that really does feel kind of creepy. If they wanted to create a place which would be the last place I'd ever want to go to in the verse, then they really succeeded. I mean, look at how spooky it feels. And it's not just a new special planetary facility we're talking about here. It is also going to include a network of caves that will serve for specific purposes as well. More on that later. And on top of that, the facility is located on Aberdeen, one of the most, if not the most hellish location of the verse right now, which really adds to the overall sense of inhospitability we could feel until now. So, let's imagine that somehow I committed a crime serious enough to send me to prison after being neutralized by security forces. What could I possibly do there? Well, the devs are going to introduce a whole new system based on merits that will be used as currency within the prison facility. These merits will be available throughout various means within the facility. They will be earnable via mining, but not only. You will also be given the opportunity to enforce order within the prison. Say, for example, that one of the inmates went on a rampage and decided to kill some of his fellow inmates. You will have the opportunity to put an end to this chaos and bring order back to the facility. The extra merits you would get from such action would allow you to get out of prison earlier than scheduled by your original sentence. Vice versa, if you were the criminal causing chaos in jail, your sentence would increase as the amounts of merits required to pay off your debt to the society would equally increase. Having the facility on Aberdeen is also not going to make it easy for the inmates either. Aberdeen is a desolate place. It is very hot, it is toxic, and of course, its air is not breathable, and it turns out that the prison facility doesn't care much for the well-being of the prisoners. Oxygen is scarce, and players will have to be able to earn oxygen canisters in order to survive. Of course, there's only so much players can carry with their prisoner suits, and the risk of running out of it and suffocating when attempting to escape is going to be very high. Players who will make a run for it will have to plan their escape very carefully. They will need to get the escape route mapped prior to their evasion, and of course they will need a pickup, meaning that the pilot of the ship will also have to do some recon work ahead if they want to be sure at the right place at the right time. Now, I've heard a lot of players ranting about the fact that this gameplay loop is going to discourage pirates and criminals from playing, some going as far as saying that there are going to be some crime-oriented players who will stop playing the game because of this mechanic, and I think that it is wrong. In fact, I couldn't disagree more with such statements. I think it is going to discourage casual griefers from griefing if somehow griefing is the only thing that they can do. The type of players who sit in a retaliator firing torpedoes at people just because they can. And yes, I think, or at least I hope, that it will discourage them from playing. However, as far as players who are serious about piracy and about being real criminals, I think that prisons will encourage them to grow some skills and eventually be better at the game so that they don't get caught by committing crimes in the monitor space, or they eventually evade security forces by killing them or running away and erasing their crime stats at one of the various security outposts of the verse. We should also keep in mind that we are getting the Pyro system next year, and that Pyro is a lawless system, which means that unlike the Stanton system, the UEE doesn't care about what can possibly happen in Pyro, which leads me to believe that as soon as Pyro makes its way into the verse, we shall see a mass exodus of PvP-oriented players toward this system, as it is going to get increasingly difficult to make a living off crime in Stanton. On the other side of the spectrum, I am certain that the new prison gameplay will provide a certain relief to players who spend their time trading peacefully and want nothing to do with the killing that may happen in the verse. It is a good thing to have a player base divided between PvPers and PvPers. Actually, I don't think it is. I actually think that we should keep in mind that this will just get temporary, as the final verse is said to have dozens of star systems, and despite the project being at its 8th year of development, this is just the very beginning. So yeah, we are going to have a divided player base when we're going to have Pyro and Stanton, but as soon as we're going to have more systems, I'm pretty sure that this is going to dilute itself. Anyway, guys, that's all for this video. Please tell me what you think about the Pirates, the prison system. Do you think that it is going to stop players from playing? Are you excited about it? Are you looking forward to it? Or do you think it's not going to change anything? I'd like to know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Also, this month, I am giving away a celebration gear pack. This is actually a set of flair that was available during this year's expo. You're gonna have all your t-shirts and hats of your favorite ship manufacturers. All you need to do to get a winner is to subscribe to this channel and to comment to any videos posted this month. The winner will be announced during Christmas Eve. Also, I am giving away an Anvil C8 Pisces thanks to Dark Sparrow, one of the members of the community here, who decided to step up and do something for all of us here. So shout out to Dark Sparrow. All you need to do, the case of winning, is to be a Patreon subscriber. Patreon pledges start at $1 a month, and they really help this channel a lot. The link is in the description down below. That's all for this video, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button. It really helps me a lot. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for more videos. This is the Eradicator. I'm signing out.